It was just another long day at work. I was tired, the kind of tired that settles in your bones. I stepped into the elevator, ready to head home and forget the day ever happened. But as the doors were closing, he walked in. Tall, sharp suit, and a smile that could light up the whole building. I'd seen him around before, in the office, in the halls, but never this close. The air felt different with him in that small, confined space. He nodded and said, "Rough day?" His voice was smooth, warm, and it sent a little shiver down my spine. I just nodded, suddenly very aware of the heat between us. It wasn't just the summer air, it was the way his eyes lingered on me just a little too long. Then the elevator jolted to a stop. Just our luck. It got stuck between floors. I pressed the emergency button, but nothing happened. We were trapped, alone. He chuckled, shaking his head and said, "Looks like we're going to be here a while." His tone was casual, but there was something else behind his words, something that made my heart race. He leaned against the wall, loosening his tie. I tried to keep my cool, but I could feel his eyes on me, studying me. Every move I made felt amplified, like he was memorizing every detail. We made small talk, work, the weather, the usual, but there was an undercurrent I couldn't ignore. Every accidental brush of his hand against mine sent sparks flying. There was a tension, an electricity in the air that grew with every second. His gaze became more intense, his voice lower, more intimate. And then, just as I thought I couldn't take it anymore, he stepped closer, closing the gap between us. He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear, and whispered, "Do you feel this too?" I couldn't even answer. The words were stuck in my throat, replaced by the rapid beating of my heart. He reached up, his fingers just barely grazing my cheek, his touch light as a feather. It was innocent, but it set every nerve in my body on fire. We were standing so close now that I could feel the heat radiating off him. It was intoxicating, overwhelming. He was so close I could see the flecks of gold in his eyes, the way his lips curved into the hint of a smile. I could feel his breath, steady and sure, mingling with mine in the charged air between us. He didn't kiss me. Not yet. He just stayed there, hovering on the edge, his lips barely an inch from mine. The anticipation was unbearable, like a magnet pulling us together, but never quite letting us touch. And then, just when I thought I'd burst from the tension, the elevator jerked back to life and we jolted apart. The doors slid open and he stepped back, straightening his tie, that same playful smile dancing on his lips. "See you around," he said, his voice casual, but his eyes still smoldering. I watched him walk away, my heart still pounding, my skin still tingling from where he'd almost touched me. I stood there, breathless, caught between wanting more and being stunned by how close we'd come to crossing that line. It was just an elevator ride, just a brief encounter, but it was enough to leave me wanting, to make me wonder, what if?